Oh my god. Okay. So let me change my device. Okay. You can see my camera. I'm sorry about the
Yes, I can see.
bit of shadow.
Mm.
Okay, so there's two experiments. So in each of the experiments, student will be getting two of this container, but not necessarily for them to bring both of the container home. So for the first container, it's actually for them to pour all the borax. So this is actually an activator. If they ask you what is borax is a chemical that is not edible. Okay, whatever that we are doing in the class, not don't ask the student to eat. They always ask you whether it's edible or not. Okay, so ask them to pour it in the container, all of it. Some of you might be getting a bit more borax, so it's okay. All right, for this class, you'll be getting kettle. Okay, so one class, one kettle. If you have more than 9 students, I tried before. One time when you cook the water, it's about 9 students. So if you have more than 9, you might need to cook for a few times. Okay, so before they pour this, sorry, they will be getting this pipe cleaner. So what this pipe cleaner do is, this is where the crystal will form on. So you can ask the student to do any kind of shape. Usually they'll be like spiral it, or I ask them to make like a heart shape or butterfly shape, up to them. But when you want to shape this, make sure the shape is not bigger than the container. Means when they shape it, make sure it's at one end, and you try to put it, ask them to try to put it in the container. If it fits into the container, then it's fine. But if it's like too big, for example, they make like an O. They ask me, teacher, can I make an alphabet? Or they say, can I make like a teardrop? Okay. But if it's like this, right, it's too big. So because if it's too big, the crystal will not form nicely. So it might start, or only some part of the pipe cleaner will form the crystal. Okay, so you can just make a small shape. For example, hold on. Think Huda have made this, right? So yeah, just a recap of this week experiment. Okay, so for example, like this. So while they are doing the shape, okay, you show them one time and ask them to do their own shape. While they are doing this, especially if you are alone in the class, while they are doing the shape, you can start boil the water. Okay, and then give one instruction at a time. For example, you ask them to shape this first. Don't ask them to pour the borax in a container first. Okay, ask them one by one. Once they are done with this, I usually ask my student to show them their thumbs up. So if they're done, then you can proceed with the next one. You can ask them, okay guys, you can put it aside. Now I want you to take a container and pour all the borax into the container. Okay, once they're done, instead of asking the student to come to you to take the water, because the water is very hot, so you, the teacher, have to go to each one of them and pour the water for them instead. So let me open up. Oh, did you bring your material home? Like, no, right? You don't have. Okay. They can pour hot water. So when you pour the hot water, don't ask them to hold it. Just leave it on the table, a bit far from them, and then you ask them to just look at it, and then they'll be getting ice cream stick. So that ice cream stick, I don't have it now. So imagine this is ice cream stick. Ask them to stir. Give them about 1 to 2 minutes to stir. Some of your classes will be getting in one pack, there's a lot of borax. So no matter how long they stir, the borax water is too concentrated. Means you can still see some residue underneath the container. So that is why we provide two container for you. Okay. But like this, right, it's considered okay. Not too many residue. Okay. Some is like super a big amount, like so many, then you need to pour into another container. Hold up, let me show you an example. So imagine this is your another container. Okay, imagine this is another container. So for this pouring part, if you have, I think those who have only one student in a class, you can still manage to do this. About 10 to 11 students. For this pouring, I think teacher need to do for them as well. Okay, so you need to pour. Then another container, just pour the water without the residue. So the residue will be in the earlier container. So you only collect the borax water. Okay, when you got this already, for this pipe cleaner, you can either give the student the tape, or if you have enough time, you can tape it for them. So for this also, you need to like assume, like agak-agak the estimate the height. Okay, before you tape, you put it side by side whether you can dip in inside or not. If it's too long, maybe you can fold it a bit at the down here and then use tape. Let me take some tape. Okay, so very buruk, I'm sorry, I'm using double-sided tape. Okay, so tape it here just to secure your pipe cleaner. So before you straight away place the cap onto it, ask them to dip few times, like 3 times. 1, 2, 3. This is to make sure that all the borax water touch the pipe cleaner, at least until on top, at least all the shape pipe. Okay, and make sure that when they shape it, the pipe cleaner does not touch the base of your container. Because if you touch the base, the side that touch the base will not form any crystal. So it won't look very nice. So while you are in the class, you leave some space so that guests can get in. I think by opening it up, right, I tried before, it's actually like fasten the reaction. So you can just leave it until the end of the class, then you can close and ask them to bring home. And I tried in an hour, you can't see the crystal, so it's nice to say, it's safe to say, like, they have to wait for 24 hours. By the end of the class, the water is not very hot, so they can bring home. Okay, but when you pour the water, make sure it's not too full because they bring home. So make sure it's not too full. Okay, so we are done with that. Next, non-Newtonian fluid. So about this, about these two, you can talk about chemistry. One more, you can talk about matter. So about matter, most of them know already. There are three types of matter, which is solid gas and liquid. And then you can start with non-Newtonian fluid. So for this non-Newtonian fluid, I suggest you guys to do the crystal first before the non-Newtonian fluid because this will make your class a bit messy. Okay, that's why we provide the cotton cloth. Ask them to pour all of the corn starch. Okay, all the corn starch into the container. I only provide in a class about 5 to 6 spoon, but for my class, in a class I have like 10 students. So instead of they take their own water, I pour the water for them. I pour the water for them. So it's up to you. You can do it um anyways you like it. Okay, hold on. Let me take my. Don't use the hot water. If you use hot water, all the flour will like cook. So let me take my that water very well.
Can we get tap water in the classroom or?
Yes, you can take that water. There is sink in every classes.
Oh, uh, yeah. Tyler said some of the class might not have. For example, his class. Oh, check the toilet beside the room.
Sorry, Eunice, is it?
No, no, no. Tyler said his classroom doesn't have the sink.
Oh, because Tyler class is the Mandarin. Not no sink at the back. I didn't realize.
I also don't know.
Maybe tak ada lah. Then if tak ada, then Tyler class, like outside of the class there is sink, right? About 3 sink on the
Inside
corner.
the toilet, he said.
Oh, outside tak ada outside his class. At the corner.
Right beside is the toilet, luckily.
Oh, okay. I didn't know where's the toilet. Never been to toilet before.
Same.
Hi, Kenneth. Okay, we are on the first one, which is the non-attendant fluid. So for the non-attendant fluid, we are going to talk about the pressure. Okay, so they don't know who is Newton. I believe they don't know who is Newton. So even if you say this does not follow Newton rules, so it's physics. They didn't learn this. So just talk that we are talking about the pressure. But I think it's better to just say that we are going to do a non-Newtonian fluid. And actually, they know this very well if you say that we are making an oobleck. It's actually a well-known term for them, like slime, oobleck, they know that. But we say it's actually non-Newtonian fluid. Oobleck is just another term that people use, the common term. So for this, I help my student to, I pour for them. So pour about 1 to 2.5. And they can use the ice cream stick that we gave earlier. So
Even if a little bit of borax remaining, also okay. I mean, I don't know lah. Just
in
assume.
here, in here,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I think it should be fine. But most probably they won't contaminate between each other because they are in different container. But yeah, they always make fun things. So hopefully it does not work. I mean, hopefully it won't happen in your class.
Okay, hope so.
Yeah, student always wanted to be their own scientist. That's why. So this one, you put like bit by bit. If you are pouring for all the kids, right, just pour about 2.5 spoon for all of them. And if they need a bit more, you can pour for them a bit more.
Okay, how do I know how
How
much?
do you know how much you put
Ah,
in?
yeah, yeah.
Make sure it's not too watery, but how do I say? Enough to cover all your flour with water. You see?
Oh,
Enough
so
to cover all of it.
no remaining flour on top,
Correct.
but it doesn't look too watery lah. That is the
Yes.
standard.
But my student have like too watery, so what you can do, you can just take another container. You have a lot of container, right? Just pour out the water.
Ah, okay.
Just pour out the water. So how you know that yours is working well? Use the ice cream stick. You can just, okay, this one is still not mixing. Okay, let me mix up first.
So I need to make sure all the like flour inside is kind of dissolve in the water. I mean,
Yeah,
in the
mix
water,
with the water.
not chunky lah.
They can't like kacau, like very
Smooth like that. Not
smooth.
like
Yeah. So, or you can ask them to make like a hole in the center and pour the water. So it's easier for them to mix with the.
oh, okay,
Mm.
okay.
So how you know it worked? When you try to push from one side, you can see it's become like mid. You see? Like mid.
Ah,
But if you try to let go, it become silky because it's literally turning into liquid.
okay.
But I think for Alice Smith, they are fine playing with their hand. Think they had fun with it. It's not like girly girly. Or
Okay.
you can do like how we did earlier. Ask them to press quickly. They can feel like it's very super solid. Press it quickly in high speed, but press it slowly. See, this is slowly. You can feel until the base. But if you press it very fast, it becomes super solid.
Mm.
So this is what non-Newtonian fluid do. I think you guys can look at the slide of what it is. Okay. But this is how we play with it lah. So try to settle all this, then only you share about the fact. Because you need some time to ask them to clean the table. If you have some, I mean, if you're in the class, all the rubbish, throw it away. But whatever under the table, you can just leave it. The kakak will clean for you. But try not to make it super mess lah. Okay.
Mm.
Okay. So yeah, that is the first one. We're done for this week.
Yeah.
Okay. So moving on. The next week we'll be doing the robot dog or the optical illusion, which is this one. If you guys have it with you, you can do it with me. If you don't, it's okay. So in here we have two material. We have the robot dog, optical illusion, and then we have the book. Actually, we have fidget spinner also, but then this fidget spinner, right? It only can be seen if you use a phone or device camera. So I think better not to. You see, at a point, right? This fidget spinner, you can see like it moves, okay, but then can't see very clear with our naked eye. So that's why I will not provide this. But if you have this in your set, never mind, just keep it. Okay, just keep it. We don't use it in the class. So they'll be getting only these two. Before you have this book and this robot dog. So you can start with the robot dog first because if we start with the book, we tend to talk a lot. I mean, teacher, right? Teacher will talk a lot and then you go carry on and on and on and then you forgot about your robot dog. So better if you can do the robot dog first and then we can play with them with this optical illusion book. So what is this optical illusion about? First you can talk about optical is about eyes and then you can tell them they know that we need light to see, we can see clearly, but then as human we have limitation. Okay, we have limitation and then that is what we call as optical illusion. Alright. For example, we have limitation of the sense of sight. There is one limitation of the sense of sight where we call it as optical illusion. What is optical illusion? It's actually a confusion of the brain. So when you see things, sometimes your brain are not able to interpret what is actually what you are seeing. So that is what we call as optical illusion. For example, let me show you guys. You can start drawing this on the whiteboard, okay, at the first of the beginning of the class. Okay, so you can ask them, did you see between these two lines, do you think that these two lines are the same length? So you can use this as your engagement next week. Some might say yes, some might say no. Okay, so now they are actually the same length. It's just that our eyes got confused and we tend to say that they are not the same. But actually they are the same line. It's just that the circle are on the end and one another circle on top is actually in the middle. So this is what we call as optical illusion. So can start with your engagement with this. What is engagement? This is to get your student attention and get them to be excited with your what you are going to teach. Don't straight away teach. Okay, guys, optical illusion is blah 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 blah. They are not in our lecture, so try to make it fun. Okay, I know it's struggle, but yeah, you guys can do it. Okay, so for the robot dog, you need double-sided tape for this. Um, I leave it to you because you know your class well. It's either you want to put the double sided tape for them before the class, which is pre work, or you can place give them some double sided tape besides their table. So which one you guys prefer? Okay, so I think I let you guys 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There are 7 sides that you need to paste double sided tape. Okay, 7 sides. So I think to to make your class work smooth, okay, you can put for them before the class. So you have double sided tape. You need to paste for them on all the white side. So by the time they get this already, all the double sided tape is on the robot dog already. So they don't have to paste one by one by themselves. So it's like if you have like bigger size of double sided tape, right? You might need to like cut it to smaller size. Okay, ask them to place. Oh, not them. You have to do this. You have to do this. Okay. We try to make our class a bit and a bit earlier. Not to let them go, but let them play in the class before going out from the class. So let's try to finish it early, about 10 minutes. Then we can play with them in the class. So you have 1, 2. I think Eliza, Kenneth, Huda got the material, right? If you guys have it with you, you can do it with me. If you don't, it's okay. See here. See here. And then one more. One more here. Okay. So once they are done with, once you have paste all of this, they'll be getting like this. So once they get this, your first instruction will be, I want you guys to look, put it on the table and make sure the white side of the template is facing you. Okay, the white side of the template should be facing you. So ask them to arrange as what you instruct earlier. And then next instruction is, okay guys, as you can see, on this template, you can see all the lines. So I want you guys to fold the lines, fold and open for all the lines that you see on the template. So I want you guys to fold and open, and do not fix the robot hand before me. Okay, listen to my instruction. Fold and open it up. Fold and open it up. Why we have to do this? This is to make sure that when we want to fix the rubber duck later, it'll be easier for us. Okay, so fold Fold and open. This part, you can just throw it away. Okay. Okay, all done. If you're done, show me thumbs up. So okay, we can do as whatever you guys are doing. Okay, you can use your own style. All right. Before you fix the top part, do the bottom part. Okay. For the bottom part, I want you guys to fix the side of the robot dog to the base. Okay, the side of the robot dog to the base. So how we do this, I want you to peel the skin of the double-sided tape of both sides. Only for the side. Only for these two sides. Don't open the rest of the double-sided tape. Okay, put it up. And then remember that we folded earlier already. Now you can paste them. Okay, you can paste them. How you paste them? Make sure the line are aligned to each other. Okay, then you can paste it once. So you got something looking like this. And you have another two double-sided tape side by side that near to the tail of the dog. So I want you guys to take out the double-sided tape on that side as well. Okay, since they are using a lot of double-sided tape, you can use the black box for them to put all the skin of the double-sided tape so that you don't have to clean so much after the class. Okay, now they'll be getting, after they're done with the base, it will look like this. It will look like this, the base. Now, how you fix the face of the robot dog, instead of going like this way, instead of going this way, the robot dog face should be going out, outward, not inward. You see? The head should be inward. Okay, don't worry, I'll be giving you the video version of procedure, but just to make sure that you guys don't do this kind of mistake, because or else we need to open all of it again. Okay, make sure it goes. Okay. Oh, this side. Okay. Okay, so it should go like this. Oh, should go like this. You see? Inward. Okay. And at the back, fold it. Some of your students might do it the other way that they think it's right. So please warn them to wait for your instruction. And always tell them that you have no extra so they will be more they won't try on their own. Okay, so it will look like this. So how it works, wait, can you guys see? Wait. Mm, that's right. So on camera it will look much more obvious, but if you are doing in the class, right, you can see even though we fold it inward, it's look like 3D in camera. And when they are doing in the class, it's not like as clear as the camera. So what you can do is ask them to stand behind their table for about 3 steps away. Okay. And then move their body from right to left or left to right. So for here, or they can just hold it up, okay, in front of them, and then move the robot dog slightly. You can see that the robot dog is looking at you. No matter where you try to turn it, the robot dog is looking at you. Can you guys see it? Right? So this is the optical illusion. Nampak tak? Nampak kan? So this is what they'll be learning. So once they're done with this, give them some time, about few minutes, like 1-2 minutes. The dog very creepy, yeah, it is. Some's like some of my students like before they bring their own devices, so they'll be running away because it looks very creepy. Next, for the optical illusion, oops, for this book, why my screen? Okay, for this book, you can play with this one by one. So if you have time, right, try to spend with this robot dog about 15 minutes, 1 5, and this book another 1 5 minutes, 15 minutes. Usually you will start about the class at 2:30, right? You will start about 2:40, roughly 2:40, right? After all the attendance, all the chaos, 2:40. And then you need 30 minutes to do these two experiments. And then you have like 5 minutes for them to play. Then you have ended the class. So make sure to end the class 5 minutes early. Okay, come back here. Illusion 1. So ask them to open up their book. The center circular section lines may appear to be bent, but they are perfectly straight. Check it with a ruler. So in Alice Smith, they have their own stationery in the class, so you can use the ruler in the class or ask them to bring out their own ruler. So each of the illusions span about a few seconds or few seconds. Okay, so you can go through one by one. Can you find the word liar on this man's face? So it's very obvious in the camera, right? So this one is actually liar. Don't worry, all the answer is in the slide. I mean, in the video. Sometimes, yeah, we just can't figure it out. So you can look on the video. So this is about illusion. Done with week number 4. This is week number 4. Okay. All right. Moving on. The last one, the robot hand. Okay. So for this robot hand, actually we in our kiddo science class we don't have this robot hand. We do have it, but it's not as this canggih lah. Okay, I could say that this robot hand is too easy for our kiddo science class. So that's why we don't use it for our kiddo science class. And those who with us before, I think no one, right? Only Eunice. The rest is all new. We did this robot hand before, but it's a small version. So some of the student might say, "Oh, I did this before." So you say this is another version, an advanced version, new version of robot hand. I'm sure they'll be happy with it. Don't worry. Okay, for this week number 5, you only have few items, but in a small pack you have screws and the thumb for your robot hand. So please make use of the black box. Ask them to put all of this inside of their black box because the screw is like ngam ngam. We don't have extra from here. And I also don't really give you guys extra. So I don't want you guys to take out new set just to take the screw. Try not to do that. Okay? Alright. So for the first one, about this robot hand, what we actually teach them is we teach them about hand tool. We teach them about scientist invention. For example, ask them for engagement, you can ask, alright guys, if you are very short, okay, I mean not if you are very short, I mean if you wanted to take things that is higher than you, other than using the stairs, other than using the chairs, what other ways can we do? I mean, if you are alone in the house, what other ways that can help you out? So they'll come out with a few answers and blah blah blah. You can just keep on asking. At the end, you can tell them, "Do you know that we actually have invented? Someone have invented what we call it as hand tool." So there are many types of hand tool. Which what does it mean by hand tool? It does not use electricity, but it helps us in doing things. For example, we have hammer, we have the screwdriver, and we also have this robot hand. So usually this robot hand help us to take things that is higher than us. For example, above, I mean like above the drawer and all that. Okay. So what you have to do that is done with the engagement for this. First, they need to take the fingers. All right, the fingers in. I want you guys to take the fingers in gray color. As you can see, there are four fingers. All right, and at the end of it, you can see two holes. Okay, you can see two holes at end of your fingers. So what I need you to do, I want you to find these two holder. Okay, these two red color holder. So the red color holder should look side by side this way. I mean, you can see in the middle there is knob. Make sure both of the knob is facing the same side. So I have knob on the right hand side, knob on the left hand side, and it looks like scissors. Okay, arrange it look like scissors in front of you. So always ask them to prepare whatever you need on their table. So some, because sometimes they like put everything on the very messy on the table, right? They couldn't find it. So give them some time to prepare on their table. Okay. So ask them to put the fingers on the left hand side and the holder on the right hand side. The holder, make sure the knob is facing up. The middle, you have knob facing it up, and then you arrange it looks like a holder of your scissors. Look like scissors here. Okay. So now what you're gonna do at the end of the holder, the red color, you can see hole as well. Right? You have two holes. So I want you to put the hole on the red color on top of the gray color. Gray color. Okay. Red on top of the gray color. Make sure both of the hole from the red color and hole from the gray color are aligned. Hole with hole. So they are aligned. Okay. So if you have assistant, maybe assistant can walk around and see whether they put it right. Now, each of the student will be getting screwdriver. I already provide in your pack. Wait, I haven't give you guys this robot hand. So I will provide this. And for this screwdriver, every time you use screwdriver in the class, make sure you collect it back. Okay? Collect the screwdriver from the student after you finish with the experiment because we don't want them to use this to injure someone else. So for this two, now take two screws out. They should be putting everything in the box already by right. Okay, and the screwdriver that I gave you is actually magnetic. So it's easier for a student to hold their screw. You can tell them it's actually magnetic so you can hold your screws properly, I mean securely. Put one screw and secure it clockwise. Since this will be their first time using screwdriver, some might never, I mean, I don't know, maybe they are never seen screwdriver, never used this before. So make sure your instruction is very clear. Put in your screw and turn it clockwise. Okay, turn it clockwise until it tighten. How do you know it's tightened? Until you can't move anymore. That is what we call tighten. Okay, so if you're done with the first step, show me thumbs up. Mind you, since this is their first time using screwdriver, it might, sometimes you think it's very easy, but it might take some time. Alright, so once they are done, put this aside. Now, I want you guys to focus on these two blue color base. So, even though it looked the same, but I want you guys to look on the smaller side, smaller end of the robot hand. One side, you can see like there are like four holes together. while another one you can't see it, right? Can you guys find it? So they'll say like, yeah. Can you guys show me? So ask them to show it up. Okay? Just to make sure that you guys don't have to keep on repeating the instruction. Or just to make sure that they don't do any mistake. So can you guys show me this side of the robot hand, the base? So they will show this. Now place it in front of you. The side that have four hole, make sure it's on your right hand side on your table. Why I always give instruction with right and left, up and down, just to make sure that their up is the same as my up, their right hand side is the same as my right hand side. So I don't have to go one by one and help them out. So if your instruction is clear, I'm sure upper primary can follow it very well. Okay? So this one, what I need you to do, you have the fingers earlier that attached to the handle already. Now, place your fingers on the right hand side of your base. Okay. Alright. Oops. Let me do it. Okay. Place it on your right hand side of your base. So you need to secure in between the fingers. You can see there are, after fingers number 1, you can see one hole. After fingers number 3, you can see another hole. So that hole should be secured onto your base with the two knob that you can see on the very right hand side here, on the very end here. Okay? But try not to say here, here, here lah. In I mean, in the class, they can't see your hand properly. But if you're doing online, then you can say here because they can see clearly. Okay, place it into the knob. Okay, secure your fingers. Now at the back, okay, place it nicely onto the base. So now you should be looking like this. Okay, now should be looking like this. I think mine is like too tight, super tight. Let me loosen it a bit. Okay, okay. So after, if you are able to put it into the hole, the rest should be in the right position already. Okay, so you can just walk around to make sure that they are doing it right here. Now, what you need to do is take the two spring. Can you guys find spring? Oh my god, where's my spring? It's here. Okay, my spring menyorot dalam tam pula. So for this spring, you have two spring. And on both end of the spring, you can see two hole. Right? Make sure your spring is at the bottom. Okay, when you place it onto your base later, make sure the two hole is at the bottom. I don't want it to be like upside down, whereas the hole is on top. You guys can either draw this on board. Okay, you can guys and try to draw it on board so that they understand better. So you have two end. One hole, I want you to secure it onto the knob from red color handle. Let's do the top part first. Okay. Put one end, doesn't matter right or left, it's actually both the same hole on the spring. And then another end, place it onto the blue knob that coming from the base. Okay, so you need to push it a bit. You see? So we are done with the first one. Can you guys try to do the second one? So some of the kids like super easy to give up. So what you can do, show them while explaining, show them how to do it for one side, and another side, ask them to do it themselves. Okay? You can help on the first one, but the second one, ask them to do themselves. So we are done with the spring. If you're done, show me thumbs up. Okay. So did we show you thumbs up? Then we can move on. So in a class, right? Some student might be very fast. Some student might be a bit slow. So try your best to make your class um synchronized. Means everyone is getting the right instruction. Okay. So moving on. Okay. Oops. Hold on. Okay, so moving on, we need to put our, now they can put the top part. So it's very easy. This one is actually easier than the um, older version. So they just need to make sure can close on the side properly. Okay. Now I want you guys to adjust the finger. So if you press here, then the finger can move. Here, the finger can move. But how many fingers do we have? We have five, right? So we want to imitate human hand. So they should have five fingers too. Where is another one? This is the thumb. So the thumb, just make sure that the knob is aligned with the hole and then push it in. Okay, push it in. So we are done. So what happened with all the screw that we have a lot here? Okay, before you place in the thumb, okay, the thumb should be the last step. Okay, the thumb should be the last step. If you look at my video, later I'll share with you. Secure the screw before you place in the thumb. So luckily it's not stuck because once it's stuck already, very hard for you to take out. Okay, class. Now I want you to turn the side where you can see all the holes on your robot hand. Once you see it already, I want you to place one screw on each hole. Ask them to place first. All the screw. If like super, if you have very limited time, right, you can just screw a few, and then the rest ask them to do at home. But try not to do that as their homework. Okay, just ask them to complete in class. Kalau memang tak sempat, then okay lah. Okay, put it inside. And now I want you guys to secure it with screwdrivers. Secure it screwdrivers. Okay, how to secure it? Turn clockwise. Make sure when you secure it, your hands are straight up. So your screw goes in nicely. Okay, does not go slanted way. So straight up, move it clockwise until it's tightened. Okay, now it's all secure. You can turn it upside down again and then place in your thumb. Okay, place in your thumb. So if you have time, how to play with this? Ask them to take things on the table using the robot hand. Robot hand. So and pass to each other. Okay, so this is to make sure that they are coming out from the class happily because they know what is actually how it works, how to play with it. So that is all. Any question, guys? Oh yeah, by the way, in every classes, right, I did provide you the worksheet. Um, I know it's very hard to complete the worksheet, but actually like some teacher get confused or tiba-tiba macam no idea to how to start with the class or what is the content of the class. you guys can actually use the paper as guidance. So you guys can in the very beginning of the class pass around the paper, ask them to put their name, and just share with all the content inside of the paper. I mean, kalau tak sempat all pun, share all the objective and then the a bit of the content from the paper, and then put it aside. At least they've seen the paper. I mean, it's actually to help teacher, especially those who have so many classes. So the paper is actually guidance, but only for upper primary, not for lower primary. Okay? Any question? Oh, I didn't switch on my camera. Sorry. Okay, all good. Any question? Oh, we finished like 1 hour. Very good. Any question, guys? No?
I'm alright. Yeah, no questions.
Azuru, you didn't open your mic.
I beg, 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 beg. Hi, beg, 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 beg. And then it's not actually, it's not actually on. Okay. So, thank you so much, everyone. If there's nothing else for the matter, I'll message in the group as usual and pass to you when the times come. So thank you so much. Bye bye, everyone. Have a good day. Good night.
Just Nuru.
Yep.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Bye.
Bye.